Hello, everybody. So I have with me, and it is a very proud moment to introduce Dr. Kiran with me, who has secured ninth rank in the NEET SS 2023 surgical group. So first of all, Dr. Kiran, congratulations. And first, and a very obvious question regarding how are you feeling achieving this great rank?
There are no words, sir. I was feeling very great because this was my first attempt of giving the NEET SS, and to achieve single-digit rank is a very great achievement for me.
Right. Like your internet is, I think, your video is getting paused in between.
Just a minute, sir. I'll check my internet.
Yeah.
Now it's okay, sir.
Yeah, it is slightly delayed in between. No issues. Now I can see you for now. Yeah. So, next, what I would like to ask you is that share your experience regarding your journey. So first, I will ask you that how much time were you preparing? Since how much time you're preparing for this exam?
Sir, since this was my first attempt, I was not actually targeting for this proper NEET session, sir. And the last 2 months uh, after my university exams, I actually had 1.5 months of time. So prior to university exams of 1 month or so, in the last 1.5 months, so 2.5 to 3 months, I was actually preparing and sort of starting to do some MCQs regarding the NEET SS. So otherwise, I was preparing for my university exams and reading the Bailey and Sebastian and doing a bit of MCQs, sir.
Okay, so you have just passed your MS and you have been just reading since last 2 to 3 months.
Yes, sir. Like
Okay.
MCQs, I was started doing in the last 2 to 3 months, sir.
Okay. So for NEET SS, you have been preparing just after your MS exams.
Yes, sir.
So that is also one of the message which I would like to tell the students who are watching this, that NEET SS is not just for the people who have been sitting for 1 year, 2 year. Even after your MS exams, if you study sincerely, I think you can achieve it.
Yes, sir.
What is your view about that thing?
It's actually true, sir, because the questions in the NEET SS are majority of the questions are from Bailey and Sebastian. Some of the questions were out of the compared to the previous paper. In this paper, some of the questions were beyond Bailey and Sebastian, like going into the depth of the super specialty, and also some questions were asked from Schwartz also. But
Yes.
those questions, if you can do with some logic and reasoning, you can just answer some questions. Some part of the questions you can answer based on the your conceptual logic of your understanding of the subjects. So that's what I felt. So if you can read Bailey and Sebastian thoroughly and understand the concept, so rest of the questions you can keep some answers by just ruling out, or you can do logically some of the bits.
So it is not just the game of theory reading, but implementing that theory reading
Yes, sir.
into your clinical acumen and knowledge. So I
Yes, sir.
think that is a very good thing. And although the paper was slightly odd, but if you have read thoroughly, then you can definitely do it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So other thing is that what did you do in this last 3 months? How did you prepare for NEET SS?
Uh, Sir, like to say frankly, I haven't completed the entire syllabus of my NEET SS prior to attempting the exam, sir. So what I have read for my universities is majority of the surgical gastro part and the general surgery part, and majority of the urology part, which they will ask in our university exams, I have covered. And after the university exams are over, I have started reading the other super specialty aspects like CTVS. I have read line to line from Sebastian CTVS, plastic surgery, neurosurgery, and urology also. I have read both from Bailey and Sebastian. And I have concentrated on doing the MCQs of daily. I will practice some of the MCQs and I'll start reading the new topics. So that's how I went in the last 2 to 3 months. So what I thought was MCQs I did from the whatever topics I have covered from the general surgery part and the surgical gastro part, I will do simultaneously in the initial half of the days. And simultaneously, I will read the new topics. Line to line, I used to read from cardiothoracic and vascular surgery. I haven't gone anything beyond the Sebastian or Bailey, so because I haven't got enough time also to do that. So I have covered overall subjects like that.
So that's a very good thing that even I tell my students the same thing. And also I used to tell the same thing that along with Bailey and Sabiston, multiple revisions, I think, is the key, which even
Yes,
I
sir.
feel you would agree. And other thing is MCQ practice daily.
Yes, sir.
So,
Daily you should practice, sir.
so that is even what I used to advise the students, that daily try to do 100 to 150. And I think that is something which helps you to get prepared for the exam in a good way.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So now something of a personal thing, that where did my platform help you?
Sir, I've actually got information through your platform through one of my colleagues during my college days. After, so I started enrolling your platform after my university exams, sir. So
Okay.
initially, during the university exams, also used to conduct weekly tests on the results, sir.
Yes.
So
Yes.
initially, at that time, my university exams are happening. So I couldn't give much of your platform in the initial part. So I could give from the test number 7th onwards, my university exams are over. So at that time, I used to do the weekly MCQs and like the weekly platform questions, and I used to go through the incorrect answers, and I used to read the topic again. So initially my scores were low because I started doing the MCQs in the recently in the last part only, but my scores were gradually improved in the towards the end of the part. So what I felt was whatever we have done wrong, I used to read the topic the same day, so that I never used to delay it. So that to the upcoming part, I used to read the topic which whatever I have read, if I am unable to do or whatever I have done anything wrong in the MCQ, I used to revise the topic in the same day,
Right.
sir.
Right. So how did you feel the level of the question bank or the questions which we asked and NEET SS? How will you like compare both of them?
Uh, Sir, like the pattern of the last year NEET SS and this NEET SS is different, sir. Because
Very.
I have not attempted the last year NEET SS, but I have gone through the recall questions. So last year questions were majority of the questions were from the tables, and majority of from the scorings, like the classifications what they have asked. And
Yeah.
this year NEET SS was entirely different. Like they were asking majority of the scenario based questions, and those scenarios are also not properly what we see in the textbook scenarios. So
Right.
they are like you just need to go beyond that, and you just need to think and just see options what they are trying to say, because almost all the scenarios what they are giving were like not the proper classical scenarios. So basically what I understood, they wanted to rule out and see the most probable answer in the uh, those four options.
Right.
So and your platform helped me, sir, in in doing some of the scenarios for like some of the one liners were directly from your MCQ points. Like for example, the renal cell carcinoma, what percentage were asking the classical triad.
Yes.
And I think some I could get some majority of the tables and those from your this majority from your question bank, sir. And
Yes.
scenarios were also I could encounter some some of the scenarios were what I have encountered is the same from what we have covered in this last 3 to 4
Yes.
sessions.
So that was what my attempt was, that in my, especially in the mock exams, I tried to give you a very tough exam, but seeing what the response I was getting from students, that it is a very tough paper, NEET SS is not like that, I slightly reduced the level, but I felt that if I would have asked more tough, then the students should have been more prepared for the exam.
Yes, sir. But the questions were like entirely different, sir. Like major the one, and I think I felt none of the questions were from the direct tables or from the Bailey and Sebiston. They have
Yeah.
asked in between the one-liners from the Bailey and Sebiston, and they have asked majority of the scenario-based questions, and some questions were beyond those two books. Like when they went into the depth of the super specialty
Yes.
of some we can do it by logically. Those who have gone through reading specialty particularly for that would have probably answered those questions.
Yeah. So what I felt from your response also was that Baileysavist is a base what you need to prepare.
Yes, sir.
Above that, if you want to do, then you can do shorts. But beyond that, you cannot prepare for the paper like what it was asked.
Yes, sir. Because it's very difficult to cover the entire super specialty subjects, and it's very difficult to revise and retain the subjects of what they're asking. So
Yes,
the
definitely. Because you cannot prepare for a specialty, all the specialities in one go. So I think very rightly, and even the students will be watching this can take a note that Baileysavist, it is not that the question paper is tough, so you should not read that. That should be the base of your knowledge. And above that, whatever you want to do, next step would be shorts. And after that, if you have time, then you can concentrate on other things.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So now if you want to share some tips or some strategies which future aspirants will be watching you, what would you tell them?
Sir, like I would suggest them to read thoroughly the Bailey and Sebastian, sir, and like you should read them in a logical way, like what they're trying to do and what they're trying to say, and note down the controversy points between the Bailey and Sebastian. And I used to note down the important criteria and tables separately in one book or in a notepad, so that prior to exam I used to revise all the categories and tables and the memory points, so that if we just revise at a glance, so that we might not miss them during the sessions, because those are the memory points. If you just read prior to 1 or 2 days prior to exam, you'll answer them correctly. Otherwise you'll just fumble in the exam, wasting one minute or two, so that it will affect on the next question also.
Yes.
So that's what I made. So I just made all the important memory points, all the tables, and I have written separately. And prior to exam, one day I have revised all the tables and categories, sir.
Right.
And controversy points I have noted separately between Bailey and Sebastian, sir.
Right. That's a very good thing what you mentioned, that jotting down differently so that before the exam you don't have to go through the textbook and getting anxious by seeing other things, so that you are limited to something which is only needed to be revised. That's
Yes,
a
sir.
very good point. And coming to, so I think what you said is like you had just taken our mock exams, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So if I would ask you regarding any feedback or any suggestions, because I believe that as my platform, whatever suggestions and feedback students give, I try to implement that, because it is at the end of the day, it should help you. So what would you suggest me, or what is your feedback for us?
Sir, like if you could try to make more of the scenario based questions in your pattern, because this is what the NEET pattern what
Yes.
they're trying to do in this year. So it will be very helpful, sir. And try to create some of the scenarios which are unconventional also, like not going into the proper clinical features and management, so that we can directly guess the answer, because the question pattern was they're giving some unconventional features, and they're trying us to choose the best of the four options. So
Right.
if we can try to implement that, it would be helpful, sir.
So that is what my plan is, that I am adding more questions regarding clinical scenarios, image based and everything. So that is a very valuable feedback. And if you have anything which you think that is a lacuna in my platform also, I'll be welcome to hear from you.
I didn't feel anything, sir, because I have gone through at least some 5 or 6 mock exams of your platform, sir. So what I felt was it was useful, because your questions were from the one-liners you are covering, and you are covering from the questions from the tables also, which they have asked in the previous NEET exam. But this pattern is different, so we don't know what is coming through
Yes,
next session, what they're trying to ask. So it is
exactly.
better to revise in an entire way. So if you
Right.
can add just those scenario-based questions, it will be useful for the next session, sir.
Right. Definitely. So I'll be definitely taking all your suggestions, and I've already started implementing them. And also, it is a very good thing hearing from you, being just preparing after a MS exam. So it is a very inspirational for the people who would be watching this. Now, lastly, what I would ask you is that for the next NEET SS, we have all talked about the books, what you need to read, how you need to read. Now, I want you to answer that how should students deal with any kind of stress, any, if you like, for example, in mock exams, you're not scoring well, how to deal with that kind of pressure? Because not everybody can cope up with that kind of stress. So, what is your advice on that thing?
Uh, because I also faced a similar problem, sir. Because initially I haven't revised much, so my mock exam marks are also not up to the mark. So what we need to just take is the feedback from what we have done in that mock exam and try to do best in the next exam. And for me, the emotional support was from my family, particularly my mother and my father. So you can take the emotional support from your family also. So, and always strive for the best. So you should gradually see your performance in the week and the next and the next. So if it is gradually improving, even if it is a slow improvement also, it's fine. So you need not directly achieve the best in the 1 hour. You can't achieve the best in 1 or 2 weeks.
Yes.
You can directly gradually improve your step ladder also, it's fine for the people who are preparing.
Right. So, take home message would be that to keep on keeping your family support nearby, not getting weighed down by any negativity during your preparation journey, because there will be many phases in which you will face that. Lastly, taking positives from each of the points and the time when you face that, and you moving up, not just sticking to that or going into more depression. So that is a very good message which the aspirants would be listening should be very emphasis on this, that be confident and be positive and constantly try to improve. So
Yes.
that's a very good thing what you have mentioned. So I think that's all. You joined us late, but it's a very proud moment for us to have you as a student in whatever limited manner you were with us. But very proud moment for me, especially that you achieved this and we could play some part in supporting you in that. So congratulations again, Dr. Sai Kiran.
Thank you, sir.
And any last takeaway, anything you want to say to the students? Welcome.
Sir, during the exam time, sir, particularly the exam was like 150 minutes. So majority of the, since in the NEET pattern, sir, the questions were okay, the options were a bit confusing. So majority of the people will be start thinking more about the options, and they will be wasting the initial part of their time. So whatever strikes the answer, better to keep that as the first answer and move on to the next question. So if you do that, you will see the time also will be sufficient for you, so that you can think more peacefully towards the end of the questions. You start fumbling in the initial part of the questions and you leave majority of the questions. So by seeing the time, people will get tensed and they tend to mark more of the uh, they tend to lose majority of the marks. So that's what I want to give a feedback to the students.
So you should not be stressed even if even if you face difficult question. It is better to move on and try to answer the ones which you know better than
Yes, sir.
coming at the end.
Yes, sir. Because that's what I followed, sir. Because initially, if I didn't know some one question or two, if I'm fumbling at that particular question, I just move on and did the next 3 to 4 questions. And when I saw the time ladder, it was sufficient for me, and I went back to the previous question and I did that. So I felt that I felt more confidently in answering the questions, instead of fumbling and wasting the time in the particular
I
question.
agree. Even I advise our students the same thing, that if you want to, in the exam 150 minutes, you should keep your calm, concentrate on something which you know, come back to the question which you don't know at the end, rather than trying to waste time in the initial period. So that's a very good tip. So I think that's it, what I want to ask and what I want to talk to you. And it's been a great moment for me to talk to you and share your experience with the students. So thank you very much, Dr. Sai Kiran, for joining us. And I want to again congratulate you for your achievement.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah. So I'll just take due and thank you for joining me. So best of luck for your residency and best of luck for the future of your career. And be in touch, and welcome to come join us and teach in if you have interest in that.
Okay, sir. Definitely, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, yes. Thank you. So thank you, Dr. Sai Kiran, for giving us time for this. So
Absolutely, sir. It's your platform that helped me to achieve this goal. So
yeah, it's a moment, proud moment for us, and I'm glad that we could help you. So what are you wanting to do? Onco, gastro,
no, I was planning to take urology, sir.
Euro? Okay, that's great. That's great. So welcome to the world of super specialty now.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So thank you for joining us. So we'll end this now. So thank you, Dr. Sai Kiran, for giving us your time and joining me and answering my questions. And best of luck for the counseling and everything.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Yeah. Thank you. We'll end this now. Thank you.